Good day, everybody. Still here for the Daily Market Pulse. This is Tuesday, September 9th, and we saw stocks dropping down. We knew that they were at resistance levels, having a difficult time going through. We had some signs of maybe some neutrality, profit taking, and or some mild rejection at those levels. So we expected there could be at least minimally sideways to then possibly lower prices. Hence, that's what we've got today. It's down, but in mixed volume today. Nasdaq was up in volumes. It's now at 2 distribution days. S&P at 1. And that's where we stand on that level. Nothing really earth-shattering there. Nothing horrible. You see the sideways action on the Dow, back below the 8 moving average, but above a rising 20, having crossed over a 50. So there's some strength here. Looking for support on the dip after the stochastic has now reset itself. Everything looks fine still. I'm looking for a dip and, of course, a bounce and some kind of a support and reversal to the upside. Support across the polarity here at 1990. With a 20-day moving average here on the S&P, everything looks fine. Rising 50, rising 20, 20 crossing over the 50. Again, stochastics reset. Looking for the this could still drop a little bit lower, but we're still looking for the dip. We're still looking for the buying opportunity going forward on a buy on a dip situation. So everything looks fine. Nasdaq, same thing. Yes, sell signal correct. Second one in 5 days, but it's holding the window for the time being. Could drop to the 20 or slightly lower. That's fine. 4,500. All that would be fully acceptable against stochastics resetting itself. Nothing wrong with anything that we see here thus far. So we're not seeing the TSX. This is yesterday's candle still. So we're into the 20. We're expecting support here, maybe into the 50, but again, nothing really horrible here. Grinding sideways for the longest time. That's why we're seeing some selling. They're just going to looking for it to restart, a dip and then a bounce, and looking for a restart and momentum to see if they can actually climb this thing higher than they were a little bit ago, a few days back. The DAX is into a resistance 9,800. We expected that. We expected resistance, a sideways to downward movement, especially with the declining 50. The 8 has crossed over the 200 and the 50. The 20 is now rising, so we're seeing some added strength building. But right now we're going to see sideways to slightly lower prices. 9,600 would be an expected support area. Looking for breaking a break above 98 into 10,000 and 10,200 perhaps if all goes well. We have the US dollar, Canadian dollar. As of yesterday, bouncing higher. We said with those rejections, that's kind of what we were anticipating, between the 50 and the 20 at a minimum. If they can get any higher, it'd be into 110. There it is. Now we're looking for a break higher than that, through 110 and above on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. The Euro US has been fading and fading further and continually fading. So a little bit of sideways action today, actually, it turns out. So it's looking for support still. Treasuries, at least for the time being, holding around the 50 as well as the lower trend line near 138 and then just above 137. So looking for support in an oversold state here to see if they bounce, and how high will they bounce? Maybe to 139. That's the first target on the upside if they find support here at 137. Japanese yen had faded through a support area of 95 and now maybe getting a little bit of footing today late in the trading session. So this is yesterday's candle. We don't actually see today's on the screen, but it looks like a little bit of a pause with a slight bounce, looking back toward 95 to 95.50 at least as an initial start and target on the upside. Gold looking like it might be finding support. There was a Hodami actually formed today. We don't see it here. There it is right there. A Hodami formation, almost like a hammer-like. At a triple support level, the triple support is the trend line, the channel line, and then there's just the pivot area established at around 1240. So that was the expected area of support. It could go a little bit lower, still into 1240 because it didn't quite make it there. It was like more like 1247. But it could drop very quickly and come back. So we're looking to move back toward 1280 and then maybe 1300. As we move over to silver, silver has been the same thing, looking very similar on the low side, but in this case at 19, trying to hold this level and looking for a bounce with a Hodami of its own today. And then we move over to crude, which is the WTI contract. This is the current October contract, I believe it is. Yes, October, correct. So there's a little bit of a double bottom formation, bouncing, dipping, looking to hold this 93, 92 level back toward 96. If they cannot hold these levels, then you're looking at 90 to 91 on the downside. If we advance, we go over to small caps, and small caps have faded, as you can see. The gap over 117.50 with the bearish engulfing told you, but there was immediate support across 116, which they held for 3 days. A fade through that today. That should be today's candle, right? Yep, today's candle into the 20 and the 50 where we expect support. There's also kind of a pivot across there based on some highs in a window from before. I'll show you. There's a window going all the way back to here. Support right there. And then another window and kind of see the price action, particularly right here, mid-late July. Right here as well, sideways at the 50 and into here as well. So this could be a fairly significant area where we might find support on the IWM. So this is what we're looking for. It's not quite oversold yet, but it doesn't really have to be either. The VIX, because the markets are selling, although not that aggressively, the VIX popped at least a little bit of fear. We expected if they were going to hold 12, that they could go into 13, 13.50, maybe as high as 14. You can see the red shaded area I have drawn in. And that's pretty much what they've done so far. Upper Bollinger Band still declining, 14 resistance, 200 is flat, 50 is flat, 20 cross down below. So I'm not seeing a lot of strength here as of right now. A little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a roundedness to this for about a 2 or 3 week span, but that's about all we've got so far.